Remember these? These were quite a fad when I was growing up. Everybody had to have one. Hello, my name's Larry Tom, and I'm the producer of Lyric Theater's Patience. And on behalf of the cast, the orchestra, and the staff, I'd like to welcome you to this performance. But before we get started, there are a few items that we need to go over. You've been there before. First off, exits. There's 2 exits at the back of the theater, and there's also exits at the front on either side. In case of an emergency exit, please follow the instructions of our house manager. There will be one 15-minute intermission between the acts, and at that time you're encouraged to go out and enjoy some refreshments out in the lobby. They will be for sale there at the concessions table. But please, we ask you not to bring any food or beverage, with the exception of bottled water, back into the theater. Also for sale out at the concessions, you can find an opportunity to send a greeting to your favorite cast member. You can either send a card with an aesthetic poem already written on it for $2, or for $5, you can send a rose and a card. Ooh, yeah, quite a deal. Now, one word of warning. When you send something backstage, please clearly write down to whom it's to be delivered. This is a true story. Last Sunday, a rose went back there with a nice card, and it was said, "To my love, break a leg." Everybody in the cast raised their hand, obviously for me. This would be a good time now to take out your electronic devices and turn them off or set them to vibrate. That means your phones, even the latest fashion, these watches should be set, right? And if you happen to bring yours, your Palm Pilot. Another thing that everybody had to have, why were these so popular? You can't make a phone call on them. You can't take a picture on them or a selfie. I don't know. Everyone had one. Speaking of pictures, by the way, in this performance, there are no flash photography allowed, no recording, audio, or video of any kind. And let's see, Lyric Theater. Lyric Theater is a community organization, and we're here for you, the community. Now, I hear one of the latest fashions is to give back to the community. And you can do that by becoming a member of Lyric Theater. Or you can volunteer with us. We can always use help building sets, building costumes. You might want to help us market our next production, or perhaps even, if you're so inclined, you can get up on stage with us. You can get more information at our website, that's lyrictheater.org, or ask somebody at the membership table that's out in the lobby. So I think that's it for all the announcements. So now it's time to put away those Beanie Babies and stop playing with those Rubik's Cubes. Sit back and enjoy Patience.
a strange magic in this love of ours. Rivals as we are in the affections of our Reginald, the very hopelessness of our love is a bond that binds us to one another.
Jealousy is merged in misery, while he, the very cynosure of our eyes and hearts, remains icy insensible. What have we to strive for?
The love of maidens is to him as interesting as the taxes?
Would that it were. He pays his taxes.
And cherishes the receipts.
Oh, the receipts.
Fools? I beg your pardon. Fools and blind. The man loves, wildly loves.
But whom? None of us.
No, none of us. His weird fancy has lighted for the nonce on Patience, the village milkmaid.
On Patience? It cannot be.
But yesterday I caught him in her dairy, eating fresh butter with a tablespoon. Today he is not well.
But Patience boasts that she has never loved, that love is to her a sealed book. Oh, he cannot be serious.
'Tis but a passing fancy. 'Twill quickly fade away. Oh, Reginald, if you but knew what a wealth of golden love there is waiting for you, stored up in this rugged old bosom of mine, the milkmaid's triumph would be short indeed.
Still brooding on their mad infatuation, I thank thee, love, thou comest not to me. Far happier I, free from thy ministration, than dukes or duchesses who love can be. 'Tis Patience, happy girl, loved by a poet. Your pardon, ladies, I intrude upon you.
Nay, pretty child, come hither. Is it true that you have never loved?
Most true indeed. Most marvelous and most deplorable. I cannot tell what this love may be that cometh to all but not to me. It cannot be kindness laid in life, or why do these ladies sigh? It cannot be joy and rapture deep, or why do these gentle ladies weep? It cannot be blissful as 'tis said, or why are their eyes so wondrous red? Though everywhere true love I say, coming to all but not to me, I cannot tell what this love may be. For I am blind and I am gay, while they sit sighing night and day. Yes, she is blind and she is gay. Think of the gulf twixt them. Yes, she is blind and gay. Of the gulf twixt them. Yes, she is blind and gay. How simple they that gather it day by day. If love is a nettle that makes you smart, then why do you wear it next to your heart? And if it be none of these, say I, oh, why do you sit and sob and sigh? Though everywhere true love I say, coming to all but not to me, I cannot tell what this love may be. For I am blind and I am gay, while they sit sighing night and day.
Patience, if you have never loved, you have never known true happiness.
But the truly happy always seem to have so much on their minds. The truly happy never seem quite well.
There is a transcendentality of delirium, an acute accentuation of supremest ecstasy, which the earthly might easily mistake for indigestion. But it is not indigestion, it is aesthetic transfiguration. Enough of babble. Come.
But stay! I have some news for you. The 35th Dragoon Guards have halted in the village and are even now on their way to this very spot.
The 35th Dragoon Guards.
They are fleshly men of full habits.
We care nothing for Dragoon Guards.
But bless me, you were all engaged to them a year ago.
A year ago!
My poor child, you don't understand these things. A year ago, they were very well in our eyes. Since then, our perceptions have become exalted. Our perceptions etherealized. Come, it is time to lift our voices in morning carol to our Reginald. Let us to his door.
20 lovesick maidens we, lovesick all against our will. 20 years hence we shall be, 20 lovesick maidens still. All
The soldiers of our Queen are linked in friendly tether. Upon the battle scene they fight the foe together. Their every mother's son, prepared to fight and fall, is the enemy of one, the enemy of all is. The enemy of one, the enemy of all is.
Want a receipt for this popular mystery known to the world as a heavy dragoon?
Yes.
Take all the remarkable people in history, rattle them off to a popular tune.
Yes.
The pluck of Lord Nelson on board of the Victory, genius of Churchill devising a plan, the humor of Thatcher which sounds contradictory, coolness of Clooney when sporting a tan, the science of Hawking, the eminent physico, wit of a python, that comedy clan, the fashion of Gaga as shown in a video, style of the Pope when he blesses a fan, a dash of a flat leaf, what's river dance anyway, narrative powers of Dickens and Hemingway, Denter who sailed the sea, peak climbing Hillary, General Stanley who rhymed it with Satigy, Alfred Lloyd Tennyson and that Chapeau, Rowling and Tolkien and Henry Thoreau. Take of these elements, all that are visible, put them all down in a pit, give a crucible, set them to simmer and take off the skull, and a heavy dragoon is the residue on. want a receipt for this soldier like Paragon. Get at the wealth of the queen if you can. The family pride of a Spaniard from Aragon. Force of the EU pronouncing a ban. A smack of Prince Harry who made Meghan royalty. Swagger of Iron Shift wielding a pan. The keen penetration of Curie and Galilei. Grace of an odalisque on a divan. The genius strategic of Caesar or Hannibal. Skill of Houdini when slipping a manacle. Flavor of Hamlet from Shakespeare, a touch of him. Gilbert and Sullivan, not very much of him. Queen's gone to Buckingham, steadfast and strong. When will this song end? It's been far too long. Take of these elements, all that are suitable. Put them all down in a pithy or crucible. Set them to simmer until the scone. And a heavy dragoon is the residue on. Well, here we are at last on the scene of our former triumphs. But, where's the Duke?
Here I am.
Oh, come now. Cheer up. Don't give way.
For that, I'm as cheerful as a poor devil can be expected to be, who has the misfortune to be a duke. With 1,000 a day.
Most men would envy you.
Envy me? Tell me, Major, are you fond of toffee?
Very.
We are all fond of toffee.
We are! Yes, and toffee in moderation is a capital thing. But to live on toffee, toffee for breakfast, toffee for dinner, toffee for tea, to have it supposed that you care for nothing but toffee, and you would consider yourself insulted if anything but toffee were offered. Tell me, how would you like that?
I could quite believe that under those circumstances, even toffee could become monotonous.
For toffee, read flattery, adulation, abject deference, carried to such a pitch that I began at last to think that man was born bent at an angle of 45 degrees. Great heavens, what is there to adulate in me? Am I particularly intelligent, or remarkably studious, or excruciatingly witty, or unusually accomplished, or exceptionally virtuous?
You're about as commonplace a man as ever I saw.
You are! Yes, that is it exactly. That describes me to a T. Thank you all very much. Yes, well, I couldn't stand it any longer, and so I joined this second-class cavalry regiment. In the army, thought I shall be occasionally snubbed, perhaps even bullied, who knows? The thought was rapture. And so here I am.
Yes.
Oh, and here are the ladies. See, who's the gentleman with the long hair?
I don't know.
He seems popular.
He does seem popular.
my book I seem to scan in a rapt, ecstatic way, like a literary man who despises female clay. I hear plainly all they say, 20 lovesick maidens they.
Here's plainly all they say, 20 lovesick maidens they.
Oh, so excellently wise, for a moment mortal be, deign to raise thy purple eyes from thy art-drawn poesy. 20 lovesick maidens see, each is kneeling on her knee. 20 lovesick maidens see, each is kneeling on her knee.
Though as I remarked before, in you unconvinced may be that some transcendental law is monopolizing me. Round the corner I can see each is kneeling on her knee.
Round the corner he can see, each is kneeling on her knee. No, it's not this ridiculous, and it's not this preposterous, a thorough-paced absurdity, ridiculous, preposterous, explain it if you can. Now, it's not this ridiculous, and it's not this preposterous, a thorough-paced absurdity, explain it if you can. Instead of rushing eagerly to cherish us and foster us, they upprefer this melancholy literary man. Instead of slowly greeting us, casting looks and peering at us, blushing at us, roasting at us, flirting with the fan, they're actually sneering at us, leering at us, jeering at us, pretty sort of treatment for a military man. They're actually sneering at us, leering at us, jeering at us, pretty sort of treatment for a military man. Now it's all this ridiculous and literary preposterous, they upprefer this melancholy literary man. Now it's all this ridiculous and literary preposterous, they upprefer this melancholy literary man. Now it's all this ridiculous and this preposterous.
Angela, what is the meaning of this?
Oh, sir, leave us. Our minds are but ill-tuned to life's love talk.
But what in the world has come over you all?
Bunthorne, he has come over us. He has come among us, and he has idealized us.
Has he succeeded in idealizing you?
He has.
Good old Bunthorne.
My eyes are open. I droop despairingly. I am soulfully intense. I am limp, and I cling.
Finished! At last! Finished! Are you better now?
Yes. Ah! Oh. It is you. Yes, I am better now. The poem is finished and my soul has gone out into it. It was nothing worth mentioning, really, that's all. It just occurs 3 times a day. Ah, Patience! Dear Patience.
Will it please you to read to us, sir?
This we supplicate.
Shall I?
No!
I will read it if you bid me.
You can if you like.
Oh, it is a wild, weird, fleshly thing, yet very tender, very precious, very yearning. It is called Oh, Hollow, Hollow.
Is it a hunting song?
A hunting song? No! No. It is not a hunting song. It is the wail of a poet's heart upon discovering that all things are commonplace. To better understand it, cling passionately to one another. And think of faint lilies. Oh, short time the poet hath hymned the writhing maid, lithe limbs, quivering on amaranthine asphodel. How can he paint her woes, knowing as well he knows that all can be set right with calomel? When from the poet's plinth the amorous colocynth yearns for aloe faint with rapturous thrills, how can he hymn their throes, knowing as well he knows that they are only uncompounded pills? Is it? Or can it be? Nature hath this decree, nothing poetic in this world shall dwell, or in that all her works something poetic lurks, even in colocynth and calomel. I cannot tell.
How purely fragrant!
How earnestly precious.
Well, it seems to me to be nonsense.
Nonsense, yes, perhaps, but oh, what precious nonsense!
This is all very well, but you seem to have forgotten that you are engaged to us.
It can never be. You are not Imperial. You are not Delaprascan. You are not even early English. Oh, be early English ere it is too late.
Red and yellow, primary colours. Oh, South Kensington.
Well, we didn't design our uniforms, but we don't see how they can be improved.
No, you wouldn't. Still, there is a cobwebby grey velvet with a tender bloom like cold gravy, which, made Florentine 14th century and trimmed with Venetian leather and Spanish altar lace and surmounted with something Japanese, it matters not what, would at least be early English. Come, maidens.
20 lovesick maidens we, lovesick all against our will. 20 years hence we shall be, 20 lovesick maidens still. How
Gentlemen, this is an insult to the British uniform.
A uniform which has been as successful in the courts of Venus as on the fields of Mars. When I first put this uniform on, I said as I looked in the glass, 'tis 1 to 1,000,000 that any civilian my figure and form would surpass. Gold lace has a charm for the fair, and I've plenty of that and to spare, while a lover's professions when uttered in hessians are eloquent everywhere. A fact which I counted upon when I first put this uniform on.
By a simple coincidence you could never have counted upon. The same thing occurred to me when I first put this uniform on.
I said when I first put it on, it is clear to the various stunts that every beauty would feel it her duty to yield to its glamour at once. They would see that I'm freely gold-laced, in a uniform handsome and chaste, but the peripatetics of long-head aesthetics are very much more to their taste, which I never counted upon when I first put this uniform on.
By a simple coincidence you could never have counted upon. I didn't anticipate that when I first put this uniform on.
unobserved. I am. Then let me own, I'm an aesthetic sham. This air severe is but a mere veneer. This cynic smile is but a while of guile. This costume chaste is but good taste, misplaced. Let me confess, a languid love for lilies does not blight me. Lank limbs and haggard cheeks do not delight me. I do not care for dirty greens by any means. I do not long for all one sees that's Japanese. I am not fond of uttering platitudes and stained glass attitudes. In short, my medievalism's affectation, born of a morbid love of admiration. If you're anxious for to shine in the high aesthetic line as a man of culture rare, you must get up all the germs of the transcendental terms and plant them everywhere. You must lie up on the daisies and discourse in novel phrases of a complicated state of mind. The meaning doesn't matter if it's only idle chatter of a transcendental kind. And everyone will say, as you walk your mystic way, if this young man expresses himself in terms too deep for me, why, what a most particularly deep young man this deep young man must be. Be he eloquent in praise of the very dull old days which have long since passed away, and convince them, if you can, that the reign of good Queen Anne was culture's palmiest day. Of course you will pooh whatever's fresh and new, and declare it's crude and mean, for art stopped short in the cultivated court of the Empress Josephine. And everyone will say, as you walk your mystic way, if that's not good enough for him, which is good enough for me, why, what a very cultivated kind of youth this kind of youth must be. Then a sentimental passion of a vegetable fashion must excite your languid spleen. An attachment a la Plato for a bashful young potato or a not too French bean. Though the Philistines may jostle, you will rank as an apostle in the high aesthetic band. If you walk down Piccadilly with a poppy or a lily in your medieval hand. And everyone will say, as you walk your flowery way, if he's content with a vegetable love which would certainly not suit me, why, what a most particularly pure young man this pure young man must be. Patience! Come hither. I'm pleased with thee. The bitter-hearted one who finds all else hollow is pleased with thee. For you are not hollow, are you?
No, thanks. I have dined. But I beg your pardon. I interrupt you.
Life is made up of interruptions. The tortured soul yearning for solitude writhes under them. Oh, but my heart is aweary. Oh, I am a cursed thing. Don't go.
Really? I'm very sorry.
Tell me, girl, do you ever yearn?
I yearn my living.
No. Do you know what it is to be heart-hungry? Do you know what it is to seek the indefinable and yet to be brought face to face daily with the multiplication tables? Do you know what it is to seek oceans and to find puddles? Ah, that is my case. Oh, I am a cursed thing! Don't go!
If you please, I don't understand you. You frighten me.
Don't be frightened, it's only poetry.
Well, if that's poetry, I don't like poetry.
Don't you? Can I trust her? Thank you. Patience. You don't like poetry. Well, between you and me, I don't like poetry. Oh, it's hollow, unsubstantial, unsatisfactory. Well, what's the use of yearning for Elysian fields when you know you can't get them, and would only let them out on building leases if you had them?
Sir,
Patience. I have long loved you. Let me tell you a secret. I'm not as bilious as I look. If you like, I will cut my hair. Why, there is more innocent fun within me than the casual spectator could imagine. You have never seen me frolicsome. Be a good girl, a very good girl, and one day you shall. If you're fond of touch-and-go jocularity, this is a shot for it.
Sir, I will speak plainly. In the matter of love, I am untaught. I have never loved but my great aunt. But I am quite certain that, under any circumstances, I couldn't possibly love you.
You think not?
I'm quite sure of it. Quite sure. Quite.
Very good. Life is henceforth a blank. I don't care what becomes of me. I've only to ask that you do not abuse my confidence, though you despise me. I'm extremely popular with the other young ladies.
I only ask that you leave me and never renew the subject.
Certainly. Broken-hearted and desolate, I go. Oh, to be wafted away from this black-castled armor of sorrow, where the dust of an earthy today is the earth of a dusty tomorrow. It is a little thing of my own. I call it heart foam. I shall not publish it. Farewell, Patience! Patience. Oh, farewell.
What on earth does it all mean? Why does he love me? Why does he expect me to love him? He's not a relation. It frightens me.
Patience! What is the matter?
Lady Angela, tell me two things. Firstly, what on earth is this love that upsets everybody? And secondly, how is it to be distinguished from insanity?
Poor, blind child. Oh, forgive her, Eros. Why, love is of all passions the most essential. It is the embodiment of purity, the abstraction of refinement. It is the one unselfish emotion in this whirlpool of grasping greed.
Oh dear! Oh.
Why are you crying?
To think that I have lived all these years without having experienced this ennobling and unselfish passion. Why, what a wicked girl I must be. For it is unselfish, isn't it?
Absolutely. Love that is tainted in selfishness is no love. Oh, try to love. It really isn't difficult if you give your whole mind to it.
I have set about it at once. I won't go to bed until I'm head over ears in love with somebody.
Noble girl. But is it possible you've never loved anybody?
Yes, one.
Oh? great aunts don't count.
Then there's nobody. At least, no, nobody. Not since I was a baby. But that doesn't count, I suppose.
I don't know. Tell me about it.
Long years ago, 14 maybe, when but a tiny babe before, another baby played with me, my elder by a year or more. A little child of beauty rare, with marvelous eyes and wondrous hair, who in my child I seemed to me all that a little child should be. Oh, how we loved that child and I, how pure our baby joy, how true our love, and by the by, he was a little boy.
Oh, old tale of Cupid's touch, I thought as much, he was a little boy.
Pray don't misconstrue what I say. Remember, pray, he was a little boy.
No doubt, in spite of all your pains, the interesting fact remains, he was a little boy. No, yes, in spite of all my pains, the interesting fact remains, he was a little boy. He was a little boy.
It's perfectly dreadful to think of the appalling state I must be in. I had no idea that love was a duty. No wonder they all look so unhappy. Upon my word, I hardly like to associate with myself. I don't think I'm respectable. I'll go at once and fall in love with a stranger.
Prithee, pretty maiden, prithee tell me true. Hey, but I'm doleful, willow, willow, waily. Have you here another a dangling after you? Hey, willow, waily, ho. I would fain discover if you have a lover. Hey, willow, waily, ho.
Gentle sir, my heart is frolicsome and free. Hey, but he's doleful, willow, willow, waily. Nobody I care for comes a-courting me. Hey, willow, waily, oh. Nobody I care for comes a-courting, therefore. Hey, willow, waily, oh.
Prithee, pretty maiden, will you marry me? Hey, but I'm hopeful, willow, willow, waily. I may say at once I'm a man of property. Hey, willow, waily, ho. Money, I despise it. Many people prize it. Hey, willow, waily, ho.
Gentle sir, oh, to marry I design. Hey, but he's hopeful, willow, willow, waily. As yet I do not know you, and so I must decline. Hey, willow, waily, oh. To other maidens go you, as yet I do not know you.
Patience, can it be that you do not recognize me?
Recognize you? No, indeed I don't.
Have 15 years so greatly changed me?
15 years? What do you mean?
Have you forgotten the friend of your youth? Your Archibald, your little playfellow? Oh, Kronos, Kronos, this is too bad of you.
Archibald? Is it possible? Why, let me look. It is! It is! It must be! Oh, how happy I am! I thought we should never meet again! And how you've grown!
Yes, Patience, I am much taller and much stouter than I was.
And how you've improved!
Yes, Patience, I am very beautiful.
But surely that doesn't make you unhappy?
Yes, Patience, gifted as I am with a beauty which probably has not its rival on earth, I am nevertheless utterly and completely miserable.
Oh, but why?
My child love for you has never faded. Conceive, then, the horror of my situation when I tell you that it is my hideous destiny to be madly loved at first sight by every woman I come across.
But why do you make yourself so picturesque? Why not disguise yourself? Disfigure yourself? Anything to escape this persecution?
No, Patience, that may not be. These gifts, irksome as they are, were given to me for the enjoyment and delectation of my fellow creatures. I am a trustee for beauty, and it is my duty to see that the conditions of my trust are faithfully discharged.
And you too are a poet.
Yes, I am the apostle of simplicity. I am called Archibald the All-Right, for I am infallible.
And is it possible that you condescend to love such a girl as I?
Yes, Patience. Is it not strange? I have loved you with a Florentine 14th century frenzy for full 15 years.
Oh, marvelous! I have hitherto been deaf to the voice of love. I seem now to know what love is. It has been revealed to me. It is Archibald Grosvenor.
Yes, Patience, it is.
We will never, never part.
We will live and die together.
I swear it.
We both swear it.
Oh, but horror!
What's the matter?
Why, you are perfection. A source of endless ecstasy to all who know you.
I know I am. Well?
Then, bless my heart, there can be nothing unselfish in loving you.
Merciful powers! I never thought of that.
To monopolize those features on which all women love to linger. It would be unpardonable.
Why, so it would. Oh, fatal perfection! Once more you interpose between me and my happiness.
Oh, if you were but a thoughtless beautiful than you are.
Would that I were, but candor compels me to admit that I am not.
Our duty is clear. We must part, and forever.
Oh, misery! And yet I cannot question the propriety of your decision. Farewell, Patience.
Farewell, Archibald. But stay! Although I may not love you, for you are perfection, there's nothing to prevent your loving me. I am plain, homely, unattractive.
Why, that's true!
The love of such a man as you, for such a girl as I, must be unselfish.
Unselfishness itself.
Though to marry you would very selfish be.
Hey, but I'm doleful, willow, willow, waily.
You may all the same continue loving me.
Hey, willow, waily, ho.
All the world
Ignoring, I'll go on adoring.
say you, what is it you have done? Now tell us, we pray you, why thus they array you. Oh, poet, how say you, what is it you've done? Oh, poet, how say you, what is it you've done?
Of right sacrificial by sentence judicial, this seems the initial, then why don't you run? They cannot have led you to hang or behead you, nor may they all wed you, unfortunate one.
Then tell us, we pray you, why thus they array you. Oh, poet, how say you, what is it you've done?
Heartbroken at my patience's barbarity, by the advice of my solicitor, in aid of some deserving charity, I've put myself up to be raffled for.
By the advice of his solicitor, he's put himself up to be raffled for.
Oh, horror! Urged by his solicitor, he's put himself up to be raffled for.
Oh, heaven's blessing on his solicitor.
A hideous curse on his solicitor.
Oh, heaven's blessing on his solicitor.
A hideous curse on his solicitor.
A blessing.
A curse.
On his
A curse on his solicitor.
Stay, we implore you, before our hopes are blighted. You see before you the men to whom you're plighted.
Stay, we implore you, for we adore you. To us you're plighted, to be united. Stay, we implore you.
Your maiden hearts are do not steer to pity's eloquent appeal. Such conduct British soldiers fear.
Sigh, sigh, all sigh.
To foam and steel we rarely see a British soldier bend the knee. Yet one hand all they kneel to ye.
Kneel, kneel, all kneel.
Our soldiers very seldom cry, and yet I need not tell you why. A teardrop dews each martial eye.
Weep, weep, all weep.
Our soldiers very seldom cry, and yet they need not tell us why.
A teardrop dews each martial eye.
Weep, weep,
Come, walk up and purchase with avidity. Overcome your diffidence and natural timidity. Tickets for the raffle should be purchased with avidity. Put an half a guinea and the husband you may gain. Such a judge of blue and white and other kinds of pottery, from early oriental down to modern terracotta. Put another guinea, you may draw him in the lottery. Such an opportunity may not occur again.
Such a judge of blue and white and other kinds of pottery, from early oriental down to modern terracotta. Put in half a guinea, you may draw him in the lottery. Such an opportunity may not occur again.
we've been thrown over, we're aware, but we don't care, There's fish in the sea, no doubt of it, as good as ever came out of it. And someday we shall get our share. So we don't care,
And are you going a ticket or to buy?
Certainly I am. Why shouldn't I?
Oh, fortune, this is hard. blindfold your eyes. 2 minutes will decide who wins the prize. Come, Lady Jane, I pray you draw the first.
He loves me best.
I want to know the worst.
Hold! Stay your hand!
What means this interference of this bold girl? I pray you make appearance.
Away with you, away with you, and to your milk pails go.
She wants a ticket. Take a dozen.
If there be one in your breast for this poor penitent, who with remorseful thought of rest sincerely doth repent, if you with one so lowly still desire to be allied, then you may take me if you will, for I will be your bride.
Oh, shameless one, oh, bold facing, away you run, go take your way. Oh, shameless one, oh, bold facing, away you run, go take your wing. You shameless one, you bold-faced thing.
How strong is love for many and many a week. She's loved me fondly and has feared to speak. But nature, for restraint too mighty far, has burst the bonds of the heart, and here we are.
No, Mr. Bunthorne, no, you're wrong again. Permit me, I'll endeavor to explain. True love must single-hearted be.
Exactly so.
From every selfish fancy free.
Exactly so.
No idle thought of gain or joy a maiden's fancy should employ. True love must be without alloy. True love must be without alloy.
Exactly so.
Imposture to contempt must lead.
Exactly so.
Blind vanity's dissension seed.
Exactly so.
It follows then a maiden who devotes herself to loving you is prompted by no selfish view. Is prompted by no selfish view.
Exactly so.
Are you resolved to wed this shameless one?
Is there no chance for any other?
None.
I hear the soft note of the echoing voice of an old, old love long dead. It
I am a broken-hearted troubadour, whose mind's ascetic and whose tastes are pure.
Aesthetic? He is aesthetic?
Yes, yes, I am aesthetic and poetic.
Then we love you.
They love him, horror!
They love him, horror!
They love me, horror, horror, horror!
Reginald, and have sworn allegiance to his rival, and all, forsooth, because he glanced with passing favour on a puling milkmaid. Fools! Of that fancy he will soon weary, and then I, who alone am faithful to him, shall reap my reward. But do not dally too long, Reginald, for my charms are ripe, Reginald, and yet they are decaying. Better secure me ere I have gone too far. Sad is this woman's lot who, year by year, sees one by one her beauties disappear. presently begins to dim her eyes. Compelled at last with life's uncertain gloamings to wreathe her wrinkled brow with well-saved combings, reduced with rouge, lip shade, and pearly grey, to make up for lost time as best she may. Silvered is the golden hair, spreading is the parting straight, mottled the complexion fair, halting is the youthful gait, hollow is the laughter free, spectacled the limpid eye. Little will be left of me in the coming by and by. Little will be left of me in the coming by and by. Fading is the taper waist, shapeless grows the shapely limb, and although severely laced, spreading is the figure trim, stouter than I used to be, still more corpulent grow I. There will be too much of me in the coming by and by. There will be too much of me in the coming by and by.
rapturously these maidens love me, and how hopelessly. Oh, patience, patience. With the love for thee in my heart, what have I for these poor, mad maidens but an unvalued pity? Alas, I will die of hopeless love for thee, as they will die of hopeless love for me.
Sir, will it please you to read to us?
Yes, child, if you will. What shall I read?
One of your own poems.
One of my own poems? Oh, better not, my child. They will not cure thee of thy love.
Mr. Bunthorne used to read us a poem of his own every day.
And to do him justice, he read them extremely well.
Oh, did he so? Well, who am I that I should take it upon myself to withhold my gifts from you? What am I but a trustee? Here is a decollete. A pure and simple thing, a very daisy. A maid might understand it. To appreciate it, it is not necessary to think of anything at all.
Let us think of nothing at all.
Gentle Jane was good as gold. She always did as she was told. She never spoke when her mouth was full, or caught blue bottles their legs to pull, or spilt plum jam on her nice new frock, or put white mice in the 8-day clock, or vivisected her last new doll, or fostered a passion for alcohol. And when she grew up, she was given in marriage to a first-class earl. Peace is courage. I believe there is not one word in that decollete which is calculated to bring the blush of shame to the cheek of modesty.
Not one, it is purity itself.
Here's another. Teasing Tom was a very bad boy. A great big squirt was his favorite toy. He put live shrimps in his father's boots and sewed up sleeves of his Sunday suits. He punched his poor little sister's heads and cayenne peppered at their four-post beds. He plastered their hair with cobbler's wax and dropped hot halfpennies down their backs. The consequence was he was lost totally and married a girl in the corps de ballet.
Mark it how grandly, how relentlessly the damning catalogue of crime strode on, until retribution, poised like a hawk, came swooping down upon the wrongdoer. Oh, it was terrible.
Oh, sir, you are indeed a true poet, for you touch our hearts, and they go out to you.
This is simply cloying. Ladies, I am sorry to appear ungallant, but this is Saturday.
Yes.
And you've been following me about ever since Monday.
Yes.
I should like the usual half holiday. I should take it as a personal favor if you'd kindly allow me to close early today.
Oh, sir, do not send us from you.
Ooh, poor girls. It is best to speak plainly. I know that I am loved by you, but I never can love you in return, for my heart is fixed elsewhere. Oh, remember the fable of the magnet and the churn.
But we don't know the fable of the magnet and the churn.
Don't you? Then I will sing it to you. A magnet hung in a hardware shop, and all around was a loving crop of scissors and needles, nails and knives, offering love for all their lives. But for iron the magnet felt no whim. Though he charmed it iron, it charmed not him. From needles and nails and knives he turned, for he set his love on a silver churn.
A silver churn.
A silver churn. His most aesthetic, very magnetic fancy took this turn. If I can wheedle a knife or a needle, why not a silver churn?
His most aesthetic, very magnetic fancy took its turn. If I can wheedle a knife or a needle, why not a silver churn?
And iron and steel expressed surprise. The needles opened a will till dies. The penknives fell shut up, no doubt. The scissors declared themselves cut out.
The kettle they boiled with rage, she said, while every nail went off its head, and hither began to roam till a hammer came off and drove them home.
Each drove them home.
Each drove them home. While this magnetic, peripatetic lover he lived to learn, by no endeavor can magnet ever attract a silver churn.
While this magnetic, peripatetic lover he lived to learn, by no endeavor can magnet ever attract a silver churn.
At last they are gone. What is this mysterious fascination I seem to hold over everyone I come across? A curse on my fatal beauty, for I am sick of conquests. Patience!
I have escaped with difficulty from my Reginald. I wanted to see you so much that I might ask you if you still love me as fondly as ever.
Love you? If the devotion of a lifetime
Hold! Unhand me, or I scream. If you are a gentleman, pray remember that I am another's. But you do love me, don't you?
madly, hopelessly, despairingly.
That's right. I never can be yours. But that's right.
You love this Bunthorne.
With a heart-whole ecstasy that withers and scorches and burns and stings. It is my duty.
Admirable girl. But you are not happy with him.
Happy? I am miserable beyond all description.
That's right. I never can be yours, but that's right.
But go now. I see dear Reginald approaching. Farewell, dear Archibald. I cannot tell you how happy it has made me to know that you still love me.
If I only dared.
Sir! This language to one who is promised to another. Oh, Archibald. Think of me sometimes, for my heart is breaking. He is so unkind to me, and you would be so loving.
Loving.
Advance one step, and as I am a good and pure woman, I scream! Farewell, Archibald. Stop there! Think of me sometimes. Advance at your peril. Once more. Adieu.
Crying, eh? What are you crying about?
I was only thinking how dearly I love you.
Love me! Bah!
Love him? Bah!
Don't you interfere.
He always crushes me.
What is the matter, dear Reginald? If you have any sorrow, tell it to me, that I may share it with you. It is my duty.
Whom were you talking with just now?
With dear Archibald.
With dear Archibald, upon my honor, this is too much.
A great deal too much.
Do be quiet.
Oh, crushed again!
I think he's the noblest, purest, and most perfect being I have ever met. But I don't love him. It is true that he is devotedly attached to me. But I don't love him. Whenever he grows affectionate, I scream. It is my duty.
I dare say.
So do I dare say.
Why? How can I love him and love you too? You can't love two people at once.
Oh, can't you, though?
No, you can't. I only wish you could.
I don't believe you know what love is.
Yes, I do. There was a happy time when I didn't, but a bitter experience has taught me. Love is a plaintive song, sung by a suffering maid, telling a tale of wrong, telling of hope betrayed, tuned to its changing note, sorry when he is sad, blind to his every mote, merry when he is glad, merry when he is glad. Love that no wrong can cure, love that is always new, that is the love that's pure, that is the love that's true, love that no wrong can cure, love that is always new, that is the love that's pure, that is the love that's true. Rendering good for ill, smiling at every frown, yielding your own self-will, laughing the teardrops down, never a changing whim, trouble or pain to stir, everything for him, nothing at all for her, nothing at all for her. Love that will endure, though the rewards be few, that is the love that's pure, that is the love that's true. Love that will endure, though the rewards be few, that is the love that's pure, that is the love that's true.
Everything has gone wrong with me since that smug-faced idiot came here. Before that, I was admired. I may say, loved.
Oh, too mild. Adored.
Do let a poet soliloquize. The damosels used to follow me wherever I went. Now they all follow him.
Not all. I am still faithful to you.
Yes, and a pretty damosel you are.
Oh, no, not pretty. Massive! Cheer up. I will never leave you, I swear it.
Oh, thank you. I know what it is. It's his confounded mildness. They find me too highly spiced, if you please, and no doubt I am highly spiced.
Not for my taste.
No, but I am for theirs. But I will show the world I can be just as mild as he. If they want insipidity, they shall have it. I'll meet this fellow on his own ground and beat him on it.
You shall, and I will help you.
You will? Jane, there's a good deal of good in you after all.
Now go to him and say to him with compliment ironical.
Sing Maid to you, good day to you, and that's what I shall say.
Your style is much too sanctified, your cut is too canonical.
Sing bar to you, ha-ha to you, and that's what I shall say.
I was the beau ideal of the morbid young aestheticals. To doubt my inspiration was regarded as heretical. Until you cut me out with your placidity, imetical.
Sing boo to you, poo-poo to you, and that's what I shall say. Sing boo to you, poo-poo to you, and that's what I shall say. Sing hey,
good day to you,
good day,
ha-ha to you, sing poo-poo to you, and that's what I shall say. Sing hey to you, good day to you, sing ha to you, ha-ha to you, sing boo to you,
and that's what I shall say. Boo, boo, and that's what I shall say. Oh, oh, and that's what I shall say. I'll tell him that unless he will consent to be more jocular,
sing boo to you, poo-poo to you, and that's what you should say.
To cut his curly hair and stick an eyeglass in his ocular,
sing bar to you, ha-ha to you, and that's what you should say.
To stuff his conversation full of quibble and of quiddity, to dine on chops and roly-poly pudding with avidity, he'd better clear away with all convenient rapidity.
Sing hey to you, good day to you, and that's what you should say.
Sing boo to you, poo-poo to you, and that's what I shall say.
Sing hey to you, good day to you,
good day,
ha-ha to you, sing ha to you, poo-poo to you, and that's what you should say. Sing hey to you, good day to you, sing ha to you, ha-ha to you, sing ha to you,
and that's what I shall say. Boo, boo, and that's what I shall say. Ba, ba, and that's what I shall say.
It's clear that medieval art alone retains its zest. To charm and please its devotees, we've done our little best. We're not quite sure if all we do has the early English ring, but as far as we can judge, it's something like this sort of thing. You hold yourself like this. You hold yourself like that. By hook and crook, you try to look both angular and flat. We venture to expect that what we recollect, but a part of true high art will have its due effect.
high aesthetic taste, like trousers ready-made. For use on medieval-ism time, a load will bring. But as far as we can judge, it's something like this sort of thing. You hold yourself like this. You hold yourself like that. By hook and crook, you try to look both angular and flat. To cultivate the trim rigidity of limb, you ought to get a marionette and form your style on him. Quite clear that our only chance of making a lasting impression on these young ladies is to become as aesthetic as they are.
No doubt. The only question is how far we have succeeded in doing so. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that this is not quite right.
See, well, I don't like it. I never did. I don't see what it means. I do it, but I don't like it. My good friend, it is not a question of whether we like it, but whether they do. They understand these things. We don't. Now, I shouldn't be surprised if this is effective enough. At a distance.
I can't help thinking we're a little stiff at it. It would be extremely awkward if we were to be struck so.
Oh, I don't think we should be struck so. Perhaps a little awkward at first, but everything must have a beginning. Oh, here they come. Aten, hut!
Oh, Severe, see! The immortal fire has descended upon them, and they are of the inner brotherhood, perceptively intense and consummately utter.
How Botticellian! How fra-angelican! Oh, art, we thank thee for this boon.
I'm afraid we're not quite right.
Not supremely, perhaps, but oh so all but. Sophia, are they not quite too all but?
They are indeed jolly utter.
I wonder what the inner brotherhood recommend for cramp.
Ladies, we will not deceive you. We are doing this at some personal inconvenience with a view to expressing the extremity of our devotion to you. We trust it is not without its effect.
We will not deny that we are not much moved by this proof of your attachment.
Yes, your conversion to the principles of aesthetic art in its highest development has touched us deeply.
And if Grosvenor shall remain obdurate,
which we have every reason to believe he will.
I wish they'd make haste.
We are not prepared to say our yearning hearts will not go out to you.
By section of threes, rapture!
Oh, it's extremely good. For beginners, it's admirable.
The only question is, who will take who?
Oh, the Duke chooses first as a matter of course. No, I really couldn't. You really are too good. Nothing of the kind. You are a great matrimonial fish, and it's only fair that each of these ladies should have a chance of hooking you. It's perfectly simple. Observe. Suppose you choose Angela, I take Sophia, Major takes nobody. Suppose you choose Angela, Major takes Sophia, I take nobody. Suppose you choose neither, I take Angela, Major takes Sophia, clear as day.
If Sapphira choose to marry, I shall be fixed up for life. Then the colonel need not tarry, Angela can be his wife.
In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. I shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. I will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. I will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
If on Angie I determine at my wedding she'll appear, decked in diamond and ermine, Major then can take Sophia.
In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. I will have to be contented with their heartfelt sympathy.
He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. In that case, unprecedented single, I will live and die. He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
After some debate internal, if on neither I decide, Sapphire then may take the colonel, Angie be the major's bride. In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. I shall have to be contented with their heartfelt sympathy.
He will have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. In that case, unprecedented single, I shall live and die. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy. He shall have to be contented with a heartfelt sympathy.
It is very pleasant to be alone. It is pleasant to be able to gaze at leisure upon those features which all others may gaze upon at their goodwill. Ah, I am a very Narcissus.
It's no use. I can't live without admiration. Ever since Rhoda came here, insipidity has been at a premium. Ah. There he is.
Bunthorne, come here and look. Very graceful, isn't it?
Allow me, I haven't seen it. Yes. It is very graceful.
Oh, good gracious, not that. This.
Surely you told me that. Bah, I'm in no mood for trifling.
And what is amiss?
Ever since you came here, you have entirely monopolized the attentions of the young ladies. I don't like it, sir.
Oh, how can I help it? They're the plague of my life. Mr. Bunthorne, with your personal disadvantages, you can have no idea of the inconvenience of being madly loved at first sight by every woman you meet.
Sir, until you came here, I was adored.
Exactly! Until I came here. That's my grievance. I cut everybody out. I assure you, if you could only suggest some means whereby, consistently with my duty to society, I might escape these inconvenient attentions, you would earn my everlasting gratitude.
I will do so at once. However popular it may be with the world at large, your personal appearance is highly objectionable to me.
It is? Oh, thank you! Thank you! How can I express my gratitude?
By making a complete change at once. Your conversation must henceforth be perfectly matter of fact. You must cut your hair and have a back parting. Yes, a back parting. In costume and appearance, you must be perfectly commonplace.
Oh, No. Pardon me, that's impossible.
Take care. When I'm thwarted, I'm very terrible.
I can't help that. I'm a man with a mission, and that mission must be fulfilled.
I don't think you quite appreciate the consequences of thwarting me.
I don't care what they are.
Suppose. I will not go so far as to say I will do it, but suppose for just one moment that I were to curse you! Very well. Take care.
But surely you would never do that.
I don't know. It would be an extreme measure, no doubt. But still.
But you would not do it. I am sure that you would not. Oh, reflect, reflect! You had a mother once!
Never!
Then you had an aunt. I see that you had. By the memory of that aunt, I implore you to pause ere you resort to this last fearful expedient. Oh, Mr. Bunthorne, reflect! Reflect!
I must not allow myself to be unmanned. It is useless. Consent at once. Oh, my nephew's curse!
Hold! Are you absolutely resolved?
Absolutely.
Will nothing change you?
Nothing. I am adamant.
Very good. Then I yield.
Aha. You swear it?
I do, cheerfully. I have long wished for a reasonable pretext to make such a change as you suggest. It has come at last. I do it on compulsion.
Victory! I triumph! When I go out of doors, of damosels a score, all sighing and burning and clinging and yearning will follow me as before. I shall with cultured taste distinguish gems from paste, and high diddle diddle will rank as a niddle if I pronounce it chaste.
A most intense young man, a soulful-eyed young man, a not a poetical, super aesthetical, every way young man. Conceive it if you can, an everyday young man, a commonplace type with a stick in a pipe and a half-bred black and tan, who thinks suburban hops more fun than Monday pops, who's fond of his dinner and doesn't get thinner on bottled beer and chops. A commonplace young man, a matter-of-fact young man, a steady and solid, jolly big holiday, everyday young man.
A Japanese young man, a blue and white young man, Francesca de Rimini, Mimini, Pimini, je ne sais quoi young man.
A Chancery Lane young man, a Somerset House young man, a very delectable, a highly respectable three-penny bus young man.
A Paladin Thin young man, a Haggerton Lake young man, a Grosvenor Gallery foot in the grave young man.
A Sewell and Cross young man, a Howell and James young man, a Pushing and Portugal, what's the next article, what you house young man. Conceive it if you can, a matter-of-fact young man, an alphabetical, arithmetical, everyday young man. Conceive it if you can, a matter-of-fact young man, an alphabetical, arithmetical, everyday young man.
It's all right. I've committed my last act of ill nature, and henceforth, I am a changed character.
Reginald! Dancing? And what in the world is the matter with you?
Patience! I am a changed man. Well, henceforth, hitherto rather, I've been moody, gloomy, fitful, uncertain in temperament, and selfish in everything else.
Oh, you have indeed.
All that has changed. I've reformed. I've modeled myself upon Mr. Grosvenor, and henceforth, I'm mildly cheerful. My conversation will blend amusement with instruction. I shall still be aesthetic, but my asceticism will be of a most pastoral kind.
Oh, Reginald, is all this true?
Quite true. Observe how amiable I am.
But
occasional intervals for rest and refreshment, as long as I do.
Oh, Reginald, I'm so happy. Oh, dear, dear Reginald, I cannot express the joy I feel at this change. It will no longer be a duty to love you, but a pleasure, a rapture, an ecstasy.
My darling.
But, oh, horror.
What's the matter?
Is it quite certain that you have absolutely reformed, that you are henceforth a perfect being, utterly free from defect of any kind?
Quite certain. I have sworn it.
Then I never can be yours.
Why not?
Love, to be pure, must be absolutely unselfish. And there can be nothing unselfish in loving so perfect a being as you have now become.
Stop a bit. I don't want to change. I'll relapse. I'll be as I was. Interrupted.
A Waterloo House young man, a Sewell and Cross young man, a Stenny and Stolly, Jollity, Partly, everyday young man.
Miss Wells and Wells young girls, we're Madame Louise young girls, we're prettily muttering, cheerily chattering, everyday young girls.
Angela, Ella, Sophia, what does this mean?
It means that Archibald the all right cannot be all wrong. And if the all right chooses to discard aestheticism, it proves aestheticism ought to be discarded.
Oh, Archibald, Archibald, I'm shocked, surprised, horrified.
I can't help it. I'm not a free agent. I do it on compulsion.
This is terrible. Go. I shall never set eyes on you again. But, oh, joy!
What's the matter?
It is quite certain that you will always be a commonplace young man.
Always. I have sworn it.
Why then, there's nothing to prevent my loving you with all the fervor at my command.
Why, that's true!
My Archibald!
My patience.
Crushed again!
Cheer up. I am still here. I have never left you, and I never will.
Oh, Jane. There's no doubt you are a fine-figured woman.
My Reginald.
My Jane.
Ladies, the Duke has at length determined to select a bride.
I have a great gift to bestow. Approach such of you as are truly lovely. In personal appearance, you believe you are beautiful, and find in that all you think you need to be happy. In common fairness, I think I ought to choose the only one among you who believes herself to be unattractive. Jane!
Crushed! Again!
After much debate internal, I on Lady Jane decide. Sapphire now may take the colonel, and she be the major's bride.
In that case, I'm president and single, I shall live and die. I shall have to be contented with a tulip or lily.
He will have to be contented with a tulip or lily. In that case, unprecedented, single, he must live and die. He will have to be contented with a tulip or lily. Breaking ways with one another to get married, we decide. Each of us will wed the other, nobody be Bunthorne's bride.
turn now. Thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate this. You guys have been our fullest house yet. This is wonderful. And now you won't want to miss our next two shows. That would be A Night in Venice by Strauss, and then followed by a reconstruction of Victor Herbert's The Enchantress. And please see these shows. We thrive on the support of viewers like you. And now, in keeping with an age-old tradition, please meet us in the breezeway, and we can thank you all individually for coming. Thank you so much.